Today we're going to do part two of breaking mental barriers to achieve success. On the first session, we covered a lot of material, and in this session, we're really going to go in deeper. One of the things that I want to start right off the get-go, when you start to break mental barriers, a lot of what you have to do is break free from learning not to be unhappy. Here at the Chamber of Commerce, our desire is to help every executive, every entrepreneur, every person thinking of going into business, how to succeed, how to take your business to the next level, how to break those mental barriers. So on behalf of the Morris County Chamber of Commerce, our president, Megan Hunter, and the Morris County Economic Development Corporation, today we do part two of breaking mental barriers. Learning not to be unhappy. It is not easy to develop new patterns of thinking. Many are accustomed to a certain set of thoughts and the debilitating thoughts that follow. It requires a great deal of work to unlearn all the habits of thought you have assimilated until now. Happiness is easy, but learning not to be unhappy can be difficult. Happiness is a natural condition of being a person. The evidence is plainly visible when you look at young children. What is tough is unlearning all of the shoulds and oughts that you've digested in the past. Taking charge of yourself starts with self-awareness and your thoughts that are producing your feelings. So right there, I want to pause for a minute. If you're in this class today, you're in this class because you're ready to take charge of yourself. You're not blaming somebody else. You're not thinking, well, somebody else is responsible for my happiness or somebody else is responsible for my unhappiness. But this course is designed to get you to the place of, I'm taking charge. I'm stepping up. I'm going to take full responsibility of my feelings, of my emotions, of my actions, and I'm going to create opportunities where I thought those opportunities were not available. Be present. I want you to take a moment and just be present. Even in this class, I want you to take a moment, turn off your cell phone. I want you to turn off every distraction, whether it's family, friends, whatever can distract you for this next 45 minutes or so. I want you to turn those distractions off. As a matter of fact, take a moment right now and put on your cell phone, do not disturb. My friend, if you don't take time for yourself, as a professional, as an individual, if you don't take time to turn off the noise always seems to find a way to distract us in the middle of something important. As a matter of fact, it seems like everything in the atmosphere, oftentimes when we say, I'm going to take this day for me, or I'm going to take this hour for meditation, or I'm going to take this moment just to exercise and take time for me, you know what happens. What normally happens is something will get in the way, something will distract you, something will pull for your attention, something will pull you out. So for these next 45 minutes, I want you to say, no, I'm staying focused. This is for me. I'm going to break free. I want you to affirm yourself. I'm going to break myself free from mental barriers. Whatever's been getting in the way, whatever's been preventing me from achieving success, I'm going to get rid of all those negative vibes, and I'm going to take a moment for myself. I deserve this moment, and I deserve to be present in this moment. New thinking requires an awareness of old thinking patterns. Remember this, you're not going to save the world. I tell people, do what you can, focus as much as you can, but you're not going to save the whole world. It's important that you remind yourself that old thinking patterns have put you or have led you to the place you are right now. Now, if you want to grow from this point, let's say at this point you're saying, you know what, Ed, I want to grow. I want to succeed. I want to break from these mental barriers that keep me in a box. Ed, I want to break out of the box. Well, the first thing you got to do is be present. That's why I've told you turn off every distraction so that you can be focused with me for 45 minutes. Not looking at your phone, not entertaining a separate conversation, not taking care of your children, but forcing yourself to be present. I want to be here right now. These couple of minutes belong to me, and I'm going to learn something that's going to break me free. This is my season for breakthrough. You have put in thousands of hours. Think about this. You have put thousands of hours to the reinforcement of such thinking. You know, somebody else has made me unhappy. It's somebody else's fault. I can't make it. I can't succeed. So you've spent thousands of hours there. I'm not going to tell you that in a few moments with me, you're going to break all them old thinking patterns. But I will tell you this. If you give me an opportunity and you listen to what I have to say and you apply it, I promise you this, that you start developing new thinking patterns, that's going to change your life because it's going to change your feelings. The moment that your feelings begin to change, your actions begin to change. So I want you to pay attention to yourself for these next couple of minutes. You have to reprogram the scales with new patterns of thinking that will produce the feelings that will create the fire in your belly to succeed and break free. You hear executives saying, well, when did you advance in your business? When did you succeed? When I caught the fire in my belly. I had a fire that told me I could do it, and I went for it. Well, that fire is created by your thoughts and by your feelings. Remember, your thoughts produce your feelings. Your feelings can produce negativity or positivity. Your feelings can produce a fire, or they can put water on the fire. So I want you to think about that. If you've been doing good, if you've been succeeding, I want you to change your thinking patterns right now. And even if you're doing well, how can I get to the next level? Because my life is real short. I want you to think about that. Why do I want you to be present? Let's say the good Lord gives us 100 years to live on this planet Earth. 100 years, let's say. And you are already 50. You've already lived 50% of your life. If you're not happy with that 50%, then we got to make sure that the next 50% that's left, we create value. We create growth, and we're present. And we determine that we're going to succeed by changing our thought patterns. Your ultimate thinking goal has to be freedom from mental barriers. I want you to take a moment, maybe now, close your eyes. And I want you to imagine what freedom looks like for you right now. I want you to imagine a good place, because the mind is very easy to form pictures that don't even make sense. For example, the mind is so sensitive that if I said to you right now, I want you to think about a pink elephant. My words have power, and so do yours. The moment I said, let's all think about a pink elephant, suddenly your mind is trying to draw that pink elephant. Somehow in your mind, you're trying to see that pink elephant. But if I ask you, prior to me saying pink elephant, were you thinking about a pink elephant? You would probably laugh and say, absolutely not. I was not thinking about a pink elephant at all. But the moment I say pink elephant, your mind tries to draw a picture. Your mind tries to create a picture of the words that are being spoken. And so it is with our mental capacity. Oftentimes, we limit ourselves in succeeding, or we limit ourselves in taking a risk, or we limit ourselves in moving forward because the mental picture we've drawn because somebody spoke a negative word. You can't make it. You're not good enough. You're not going to succeed. So the mental picture is of, I can't succeed. I'm not good enough. I don't speak right. I don't do it right. I'm a mistake. Whatever's been programmed in your mind, I want you to decompress. We're going to reprogram our minds Because the moment I program my thoughts, I control my feelings. And the moment my feelings are positive, energetic, my feelings are going to move me forward into the next dimension that I'm supposed to walk in. So no more wasting of time. Now, I will change right from the get-go. I will change my I should to I must. As a matter of fact, we use I should as an excuse. It makes us feel good at the moment. I should eat right. I should exercise. I should go back to school. I should call my 10 clients. I should. But until that I should becomes I must, we will keep ourselves in a box. So I want you right now, the first barrier we're going to break is the barrier of limitation. I'm not going to say I should. I'm going to go now, I must. Today I start seeing myself as successful and happy by changing my thoughts that will not allow me to be controlled by my circumstance, but I will take full control of the circumstances around me. In other words, nothing can get inside of you that you don't allow. Remember, the chief officer of the walls is you. It's time for you to say, I'm not letting nothing in that I don't want in. And it starts by the patterns of your thoughts. Renewal of your thinking patterns will be your assignment for the next 3 lessons. Whenever you see yourself thinking negative, oh, I can't make it, I can't do 2 more, I can't do 1 more hour, I want you to change those limiting thinking patterns. I want you to take your thoughts, get a hold of your thoughts, and say to yourself, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? See, I'm feeling the way I'm feeling because of my thoughts. And the more I navigate in my thoughts, the more I feel the way I feel. So if my thoughts are positive, energy, constructive, I'm going to make it, I'm going to succeed, I'm going to take my business to the next level, then those thinking patterns are going to create feelings of energy, are going to increase your dopamine. It's going to increase your mental happiness. But if I say the opposite, then I'm creating feelings that are going to weigh on me and are going to hold me back. So today I'm ready to tell you, no holding back. It's time for you to succeed. What is the evidence that something is alive? I want you to think about that. What is alive? It's constantly growing, evolving, and transforming. I want you to think about them 3 words: growing, evolving, and transforming. If you're not willing to change your mind, then you're going to stop growing. See, I've learned through my graduate education, one of the things that I've learned is that I had to listen. See, when we speak from what we know. So in other words, when we speak from old knowledge. But when we listen, we open ourselves to the possibility, probability of new information and learning something new. So we give ourselves an opportunity to evolve and to grow. I don't believe. And when they say, well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, I'm here to tell you that I believe with all my heart that everybody has the capacity, as long as you're breathing. Because if you're breathing, you're alive. But if you're alive, then like any other organism that's alive, you should be growing, evolving, and transforming. All 3 should be taking place in your life. What stops growing is dead. For example, a reef is constantly growing because it is alive. However, a rock stops growing because it is dead. So you got to ask yourself, am I a rock or a reef? Am I a living organism that I can change my mind? Don't you know that sometimes, whether it's culture, whether it's our corporate culture, our family culture, sometimes we're so afraid to change our mind and to go against the norms. Sometimes we say, well, that's the way I've been taught all my life, and that's the way I've believed. So you never give yourself an opportunity to maybe analyze what you believe. Maybe what you believe is an axiom. Maybe it's not correct. Maybe though your family has followed it for years and years and years, maybe there's something new that you can learn, and you can be the one to change the course of the ship instead of just doing what everybody else has done because they've always done it that way. One of the things that I challenge my students is this: find new ways of doing it. You know, if we think that there's only one way that's right, then we never give ourselves opportunity of learning new things. And I think that the beauty of life is growth, is evolving, is transforming, is new creative ideas. Growth happens whether we want it or not. You are the same person that crawled on the floor at 6 months as you are today at age what? 30, 40, 50, 60. What's your age? You're still the same person. You are the same person, spirit man, but have witnessed your physical body go through the process of growth, evolution, and transformation. Same person in a constantly changing and different body due to unstoppable growth process. You could not stay at 18 or 19 no matter how much you may have wanted to stay at that age. You grew. Every year gave you another year. You left the old and went into your new age. And you're going to continue to move in the process of life until the day that you are no more. And even then, your energy will continue to live on. Because as Einstein says, all we are is energy. That is all there is to it. You are living energy. Einstein said that if someone would open you, they would be able to light up a whole little city of the amount of energy that's inside of our bodies. But yet, as human beings, we never tap into the full potential of that energy because we put on ourselves limitation. The fact is, we grow, mature, transform. We are created to evolve and grow. Though our body goes through this process, often our minds get stuck somewhere along the way, causing a mental barrier. This limits us from full potential to succeed and all we want or all we were created to succeed in. Why do children have so much fun? Think about that. Children are naturally happy. They don't care in the playground who's got the expensive sneakers, who doesn't. Kids are just kids. They're just happy. And they believe whatever their parents tell them. If their parents tell them you're a superhero, they believe it. I see it with my grandson. You know, he'll put a mask on and I say, you've got superpowers. And he will just believe it. And he will tell everybody that walks in the room, I've got superpowers, because Grandpa said, I've got superpowers. They're happy. They're playing. Think about it. When did our happiness start to diminish? When we started comparing ourselves to somebody else. When somebody told us something that stuck in our mind that we believe to be true. I say we believe because just because someone said it, like I said, there's a pink elephant in the room. Maybe in your mind you might see the pink elephant, but there isn't a pink elephant in the room. I said it, your mind drew a picture of it, but it's not reality unless you choose to make it reality and say, yes, there is a pink elephant in my room. Now, though that sounds like a silly thing, that's what happens with our mind. Someone told us you don't dress right, you don't look right, you don't sound right, you're not going to make it, your boss told you you're a dummy, you're not going to succeed, and you allow those thoughts to run in your mind. And you said to yourself, I'm not good enough, I don't measure up, and now those thoughts started to create your feelings. So now your feelings brought you down to the point that you don't want to try. To the point that you don't want to break out, to the point that you're afraid that if you take a step or a leap of faith, you're going to fail. And I'm here to tell you that life is too short. I prefer to take the leap of faith and fall than to live in my mind thinking for the rest of my life what could have been. I should have, I could have, I might have, but I didn't. Why? Because I allow the limitations of others to be imposed on me. The limitations of the circumstance. The limitations of a bad relationship. What I want you to do is to think right now, what has been holding you back? If it were a perfect world and nobody would make fun of you because maybe that's what you think, or no one would say anything negative about you, what would you be doing right now? What would you be doing at this very second if you have freedom to do whatever you wanted to do? Nothing is wrong. No limitations. Nothing with the family, nothing with the business, just you. Would you be doing what you are doing? Or would you be doing something else? I want you to think about that. Because sometimes we live the life that somebody else wants us to live, and we never get to live the life that we really want to live that will make us happy. Because we've put restrictions on ourselves. We've said, well, if I do this, somebody's going to say. If I do that, somebody's going to have something to say. Well, let me tell you this. The years are passing you by. Can you control? Going from 6 months to 18 years, did you control it? No. In other words, life kept evolving. And you went from 6 months to 1 year, 2 year, 18, 19, 20, 21. You might be in your 40s, you might be in your 50s. So what am I trying to tell you? Life is going to keep moving. And you're going to miss your opportunities if you're living what somebody else wants you to live, or if you're depending on somebody else to make you happy. You've got to make yourself happy by the thoughts that you allow in your head. So I want you to think about that for a moment. What is our motivation? I want you to think about that. You might want to write down, what is your motivation? If we are not growing, then might as well be dead. Think about it. Motivation, I know that when I go to the gym and I weight lift, I get motivated to get to the next level. Okay, we lifted 50 pounds, but tomorrow we're going to try 55. My motivation is the increase from 50 to 55, from 100 to 200, from 200 to 300. In other words, what's your motivation? What's in front of you? I want you to think about that. Don't live life just for living life. Sometimes we wake up in the morning and we don't have a master plan, and we're just living our days and we're wasting our time. And time is valuable. It's something you will never get back. I wish I could get back when I was 21. I could never get that back because 21 or my past only exists in my memory. Think about that. Our memory limits us. Our past tells us we're not going to make it. Our past puts a barrier on us. And yet, where does our past exist? It doesn't exist where somebody can go and see it. It doesn't exist because it's written somewhere. Your past only exists in your memory. Some of us don't live the present. Remember, I told you, let's be present. We don't live present. Why? Because we are already living in the future. Well, the future is not here. So all the future is imagination. So you're living between memory and imagination. And you're missing the present. You're missing the right now. So what I tell people is learn how to be present. Be motivated. We can be motivated out of a desire to grow rather than a need to repair our deficiencies. Recognize that you can always grow, improve, and become greater. When we allow to be immobilized or to experience painful emotions, we have made a non-growth decision. I want you to think about what's held you back. What's immobilized you? What's stopped you from taking a risk? Is it fear? Because if you allow this, then you've taken a non-growth decision. The decision is yours. It's not somebody else's. It's your decision. You're choosing, I don't want to step up. I don't want to move up. You're limiting yourself. Growth motivation means using your life energy for greater happiness rather than having to improve yourself because somehow you feel incomplete. I want you to reaffirm yourself and say, I'm complete. I'm one. Think about this, how unique you are. You're 1 in 7.5 billion people that are on planet Earth right now. You are 1 in 7.5 billion. Now imagine having one of a kind from 7.5 billion. Imagine if you put that on eBay or you put that on Amazon and you said 1 in 7.5 billion. The price would go through the roof. You would have all kind of people wanting to get that one product. Why? Because they want to say, I've got the unique one of a kind. Now, if you're married, you've got the one of a kind. Your children are one of a kind. You are one of a kind. So instead of not valuing yourself, start valuing yourself that your company, the organization, your family has the privilege. I want you to think about this. Has the privilege of being connected to one of a kind. You. In 7.5 billion people on planet Earth, nobody has your DNA. Nobody will ever have your DNA. You are one of a kind. You are special. So why are you doing what everybody else is doing when your DNA says that there's nobody else like you, that you're one of a kind, that your assignment is one like no other. Nobody else has your assignment but you. I want you to think about that. Let's start with growth. Choose growth as your motivation by personal mastery and every present moment of your life. Mastery is that you are the decider of your fate. You must choose what the world is going to be for you. I tell people I live by an equation. Events plus response equals outcome. I can't control the events that are going to come in my life. My God, sometimes those events come and you're like, what happened? They're going to happen. However, how I respond always determines my outcome. So I already know that my outcome is always growth. My outcome is always, I don't want to be stagnated. You know, if the good Lord lets me live 100 years, I've already lived over 50%. The next 50% has to be valuable because I have to leave my area, my spot of the universe better than when I came to this earth. So I got to keep growing until the day I go back to the ground, because nobody lives forever. Everything that we have is temporary. Nothing is forever. Everything is temporary. So in this temporary life that I'm living, I'm choosing to live the best life I'm going to live and not be limited, because if I limit myself, I stop growing. Growth is important, and growth is what's going to take you to the next level. So you got to ask yourself, what's going to make me grow? We can't grow if we don't tap into our creative abilities. Everyone has them, but few choose to exercise them. Now I'm going to cover thoughts. I want you to write these down because I'm going to give you a definition for each one. Thoughts, imagination, vision, desire, planning, mission, execution, reality. If you get these 8 things in your life, thoughts, imagination, vision, desire, planning, mission, execution, and reality. If you get these 8 today, it will change your life. It changed mine years ago. So let's start with thoughts. What is a thought? An idea or opinion produced by thinking or occurring suddenly in the mind. This is the action or process of thinking. Thoughts are sudden. However, choosing to think about those thoughts and abiding in the thought or thoughts is a choice. We have the power to receive or to reject. Thoughts are also opinions that come from others. How much value do you give to the opinions of others concerning your happiness, self-actualization, self-confidence? Are you free or controlled by the opinions of others? Thoughts. create thinking, imagination, which leads to our feelings of empowerment or being left deflated. Power to be independent or powerless to become codependent. We must learn how to control our thoughts and separate those that make us weak from those that make us strong. I am responsible. Another affirmation. I am responsible for my own happiness. Some people lose their battles and enter mental barriers because they have not learned how to master their thought process. By welcoming what adds value to them while eliminating what steals value from them. I want you to think about for 1 second, what are your thoughts on a daily basis? I want you to think about that. If I went into your brain right now, what would I see? What runs through your mind on a daily basis? Are those thoughts positive? Are those thoughts challenging you? Are those thoughts constructive? Or are those thoughts full of fear? See, whether you're a warrior or whether you're one that's defeated, it starts in your thoughts. Because the thoughts produce thinking, produce feelings. So the first thing for anyone, if you talk to any executive, and I've spoken to them for over 30 years of doing this, they've learned how to master their thoughts. Their thoughts are positive, are constructive. Their thoughts are always optimistic, not pessimistic. Their thoughts are always conquering. Their thoughts are always positive. And whenever a negative thought comes, they reject it. Whenever a thought comes to make them sad, they reject it. Whenever a thought comes to make them feel defeated, they reject it. The battlefield of your mind, your thoughts. Number 1, thoughts. 2, imagination. What do you see in your head? Your imagination can launch you forward or it can hold you back. Thoughts out of control can become imagination, which instead of freedom create in us mental barriers and strongholds. Your strongholds, most of them are a result of your thinking patterns. If you say, I'm sick, you know, Dr. Wayne Dyer, as a psychiatrist, helped people to break severe migraines. And he started by telling some of his patients, imagine now the pain in another part of your head. And the woman started doing it. And imagine the pain in another part of her head. And before long, she realized that her headaches were a way of her getting attention. And it started when she was very young. When she was able to understand that her thoughts had led to the imagination and the headaches get me attention, she realized there's nothing medical wrong with me. It's that my imagination is creating my reality. So the moment she imagined herself healed, at that moment, the migraines were gone forever. In other words, your mind is powerful. But how do you see yourself? The pictures we draw in our head empower us or put us in a victim mentality and position us in fear. Do you imagine yourself as victorious or defeated? What is the mental picture that rents space in your head on a daily basis? Do you see in your head the victory or the failure? Do you see yourself being successful or defeated by self-doubt? Do you see yourself full of confidence and open to growth? Or do you see yourself full of fear and failing? In your imagination, do you envision yourself as something other than what you are in actuality? And if your actual is not your imagination, what is preventing you from becoming your imagination and not settling for your current actuality? Don't you know that in our mind, you might be saying, I imagine myself a great executive, a great successful leader, a great thought leader. I imagine myself. But in actuality, you're not that. Why have you not taken your imagination and take the proper steps or the proper choices to make your imagination your reality, because your mind cannot tell between imagination and reality. So when your imagination is negative, is full of fear, I'm sick, I'm going to die young, I'm not going to make it, your body is reacting to your imagination, because the body does not know reality from imagination. In other words, you're creating your own world. Your destiny is not something that is happening to you. Your destiny is the creation of your imagination. If your imagination says, well, I'm sick, I'm going to die, I've got back pain, I've got knee pain, and that's all you imagine, then that's what you're going to get. But when you imagine, I'm successful, I'm going to win. You know, I remember when I used to compete in martial arts, I never went into the ring thinking I'm going to lose. But I would always go into the ring, I'm going to walk out successful. I got this. I would already see myself on the stage with the gold medal on my neck. What is your imagination? Do you imagine yourself succeeding, or are you full of fear because your imagination says, I'm not going to make it, I'm going to fail, they're not going to like me, they're not going to approve of me, they're not going to accept me? I want you to change your mental picture right now. Because your imagination, if it's negative, creates a stronghold. And it's that stronghold that doesn't let you move forward. It's that stronghold that holds you back. It's that stronghold that keeps you from moving forward. We want to break that barrier. So you're going to renew your imagination. I can see the future. I can see where I'm going. I can see this business succeeding. I can see the breakthrough. I can see new ideas. I can see myself doing new innovations. When you get the right mental image through daily meditation, renewal of your mind, you become unstoppable. Your battles are not won on the ground first. They are won in your imagination. I tell people all the time, imagination is so powerful, but because we're not present, the cell phone, the family, the children, they don't give us time to meditate. Meditation is to form pictures in your mind. Get alone in a room. Get alone until you calm all your insides, your breathing, your mental. It clears up. And your imagination is that of a warrior, of a fighter, of success, new ideas, creative ideas, innovation, transformation, growth. Your imagination is controlling who you are today. How do you see yourself? Not what people say. How do you see yourself? Imagination. Vision. Many people don't succeed in business or in life because there is no vision. Vision is simple. People make so many definitions of vision. Vision is simply this: the end portrait. What's the end picture? What would it look like when I get there? Your vision that you have for your life and your future should be written. I tell everybody, write it down. Write it on a piece of paper so that you hold yourself accountable to what you wrote. Write it down. If possible, draw a picture of what you see concerning your future. This can be modified and adjusted as you start to walk toward your vision, but every vision can become a reality if we make a choice to get on the path toward it. See, if you write it, you subject yourself to it. I tell people all the time, I write down what I want, where I see myself. Where I am today was written many years ago, because I constantly write, this is the vision, this is the end picture, this is what you will see when I'm done. And that's what everybody needs today, is a clear vision of what it's going to look like at the end. But a lot of us are running and there's no target. We're running and there's no vision. There's no picture. We say, well, it looks blurry, it looks murky, I don't know where I'm going. The vision says, when I get there, this is the way it will look. Many people do not live a fulfilled life because they have no vision. They have not drawn a picture or written down, when I arrive, this is how it will look. We can't get to our destination without a map. Many today don't have a map, so they really don't know where they're going. Imagine if I said today, you know what, I'm going to Florida. I'm going to drive to Florida. You best believe I need a map or I need GPS. I need guidance. And what does Google Map do for you? What they do is when you say, I'm going from New Jersey to Walt Disney, they will show you a picture of your destination. This is what Walt Disney looks like. When you get there to the address that you've written down, this is what you will see. So is a vision. A lot of us are going out with no GPS, no map, man, and we're wasting our lives. There is no concrete pattern. What do you want to see? Are you living the life that you want to live, or are you living the life that's been imposed on you? It is time to develop your vision, and then you go for it by being present and by drawing a picture of it. Put it on your refrigerator, put it in your computer, put it where it reminds you. This is what it's going to look like when I get there. Set a vision, get the map, and get to your destination as quickly as possible. Desire. The evidence of desire is in your pursuit. Desire. What are you chasing? A strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. Desire. Look, change your language. I should to I must. Until you see yourself in great need of doing what you envision, nothing will happen because an excuse will always get in the way. An excuse. We're full of excuses. I tell people, an excuse is usually a lie with some type of explanation. Well, why didn't you make it to the gym? Well, I worked so hard today. Well, why have you not lost the weight? Well, it's hard. Well, why have you not started college? Well, I'm trying. Next semester. In other words, you're putting it off, not realizing that even if it's 6 months, you have put off 6 months of your life where you could have had something, but you don't have it because you keep postponing it. You keep pushing the bars back. No, make a decision. Write the vision today. Say, you know what, in 6 months, I'm going to be done with my program. In 2 years, I'm going to be done with college. And by next year, I'm going to be driving that new car and living in that new house. By next year, my business is going to a place I never imagined. Whatever it is. The evidence of desire will be in your pursuit. Changing I must to I will. How many times have you started something? I want you to think about this and be honest. How many times have you started something only to give up because the willingness to quit became stronger than your desire to remain persistent and accomplishing it? I want you to think about that. How many things have you quit? And if you tell me, well, Ed, I quit because that maybe it wasn't your desire. Maybe it wasn't your vision. Because one thing I know that when you desire something and you want it bad, you go for it and you make it happen. So the evidence of desire is in your pursuit. I want you to think about that. Desire has to become more than a feeling. Desire has to become an action. Desire cannot be just I feel, I want. Desire is I must. I'm going to put action to my desire, and my desire is going to become a reality. So think about that. Desire. Planning. There's 4 types of planning you need to do in life or as an executive. Operational planning. Operational plans are about how things need to happen in order to make a goal a reality. Strategic planning. Strategic plans are all about why things need to happen. Our actions are intentional. The plan keeps us in a forward momentum. In other words, you got to live life with intent. I'm intentional. What I'm doing, I'm intentional. I don't waste time. I'm intentional about getting that contract. I'm intentional about increasing my profit margins. I'm intentional about my family succeeding. I'm intentional about going to school. I'm intentional about losing weight. I'm intentional about getting that license. Strategic planning, tactical planning, getting the necessary skills to move with precision. Every move has been calculated with the end goal in mind. We don't make a move we've not seen the outcome first play out in our imagination. You know, when you do tactical planning, it's I'm on the way. I'm on the road. I'm going for it. It's going to happen. Every move I make has a purpose attached to it. Every move has a goal. Every move has an end result in my mind. I'm tactical. I know what I'm doing. I know how I'm going to win the game. So again, operational planning, strategic planning, tactical planning, contingency planning. This is the one where a lot of people don't put into practice. And I say it's super important. Contingency planning, what ifs? Events that come into our lives cannot always be controlled. We still keep the outcome in mind, but are willing to make shifts and turns to make it happen, even when it's not a straight path. It does not matter if we need to take the long way around, so long we get there. Never be afraid to switch the route as long as the location remains the same. You know, some people are so used to like, I'm going 2 miles, I make a right, and I'm at my destination. What if I got to go around the long way, 6 miles, and do a few turns, but I still get to the same destination? Have a contingency plan. Sometimes there are roadblocks. Sometimes there are roadblocks that are out of your control. But you got to have a contingency plan. Don't give up. Don't say, well, it didn't work because there's a roadblock. One thing I've learned, that when I drive on the highway, if they're doing road construction and the street is closed, I can always look for a detour, and the detour will take me out of the route for a little bit. But if I follow the detour, it will get me back to the route where I will get to my destination. The route I should be driving on. A detour does not mean a cancellation. Many of us don't have a contingency plan. It didn't work, I cancel. No, it didn't work, contingency plan. We're going to take a detour, but I'm still going to keep the vision. I'm still going to keep the drawings in my mind, the imagination, my desire. I'm still moving towards the goal. I can't be stopped. Never be afraid to have a contingency plan. As a matter of fact, with COVID-19, we're all operating on contingency plans right now. This is not the way we envision 2020. But everybody has had to run on a contingency plan in order to get to the destination. And that's okay. A detour does not mean a cancellation. And a delay is not a denial. Get to your place and say, look, I've been delayed but not denied. I'm on a detour right now, but the detour will still get me. Maybe a little bit later. It might take me a little bit longer. But I'm still going to get to my destination, because when the perfect plan did not work, I put on the contingency plan, and I'm still going to get there one way or the other. Mission. I'm almost done. I want to give you these 8. Mission. The mission is the stepping stones that make the vision a reality. In other words, all the mission is the roadmap for the vision, for the final picture to become a reality one day. What is your purpose for being and existing? I want you to think about that. Why did the good Lord put me on this earth, and I'm one in 7.5 billion? I'm one. Nobody has my fingerprint. What am I supposed to touch that is supposed to mark something like nobody else can but me, because nobody's got my fingerprint but me? When you discover your mission to help and provide a service, you will find your purpose and get paid for doing what you love, not what you have settled for. I want you to think about that. When you learn your life mission, you're not just marking time. I tell people, find what you love, do it with excellence, help other people, and get paid for it. That is the best life to live. Getting paid for what you love to do, what you feel is your mission in life. Not doing what you settled for. Because what you settle for will never bring happiness to you, because something will always be missing and the clock is ticking. You're getting older. Every year you waste is a year closer to your end and a missed opportunity. I want you to jump on your opportunities right now. I want you to think today and say, you know what? I'm going to run on my mission right now. What is it that I want? I'm going for it, and nobody's going to stop me. When you discover your mission, your life mission, it guides your ethics and why we do what we do. Our mission must become our belief and purpose for why we are here for such a short period of time. The good Lord gives me 100 years and I'm already 50. I live 50%. Look, the next 50% is to accomplish my mission. The next 50% is to help and to be a blessing and to live a fulfilled life. What makes me happy? What makes me feel fulfilled and makes me feel strong and valuable? We are not here by chance. We are here with a divine purpose and a mission that will guide our daily decisions and accomplishments. What is your mission? Execution. The carrying out or putting into effect of a plan, order, or course of action. Many of us have great ideas, but we never move into the place of execution and putting the plan into actionable steps. Execution means we have moved from I should to I should, I want to, I must, and I will. We must execute without distraction or deviating from our vision. And the last one, reality. The world or the state of things as they actually exist, as opposed to an idealistic or notional idea of them. The moment the vision becomes a reality, for example, I want you to think about this. The shirt you have today at one point was someone's imagination. The building you are in right now was at one point a blueprint created by an architect. However, the blueprint was not just dependent on the architect's ability to draw it, but on the execution of the plan through skilled labor and contractors that took the vision, blueprint from paper, created, and made what was intangible become tangible, so that today you can sit in the middle of the vision that at one point was just an imagination. It's that simple. Every building, every shirt, everything that's ever been created started with an imagination. But that imagination became so profound that people had to make it a reality. Why not your reality? Why not your vision? I want you to get infused with power and with fire in your belly and say, my reality is coming. My vision will be a reality. At this time, next week, I will continue level 3 and continue to give you more and more so that you can continue to grow and continue to break mental barriers and achieve what we have to do. Thank you for joining us today, and see you next week at 12 noon right here on this channel. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.